Morning, James.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am tired. Yourself?
Well, I'm more energized than I was I guess last night. I didn't want to do this tonight because I'm up pretty early in the morning and so I think it's great if we can try to do what we can today.
Um,
Futures,
all
sorry, that's Futures Week. What? 2023?
2023, from Policy Horizons. The That's the group that we're obviously discussing here, and I've Crystal van der Elst and Victor Israel, who is the Crystal van der Elst is the Director General of Policy Horizons, and Victor Israel, who's the head of Israeli intelligence, will be speaking at 10:15. This is the first time they asked the public to get into the conversation. Um, and usually they don't won't let you comment, won't answer their emails, won't even answer their calls. Well, Crystal will answer her phone.
Are they
I have
lawyers?
Crystal's phone number if anybody wants it.
They
Um,
must be
I
lawyers.
got her cell phone number.
Oh, that could be
It's
handy.
on the Government of Canada website, but it goes directly to her.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, I'll be speaking. I hope to get a question in there. I imagine they'll remove me. People can watch me be removed in live time. I'm not going to be rude. I'm just going to ask
Yeah.
some questions. I'm their biggest fan. So,
Yeah, typically what they do in Ottawa is they just give you a notice of trespass. If they want to get rid of you, they say leave or we're giving you notice of trespass. And I say, well, I'm not leaving. And they go, well, here's your notice of trespass. I'm like, thank you. But I have evidence of you're just complicit in all of
well,
this. So it's no biggie.
this is all online. So now they just remove you from the equation.
Ah, right. I've been muted online as well. Okay, so you
Yeah,
only have a couple minutes, so I won't keep you. I am going to screen share again.
perfect.
All right. So I know we didn't get to a couple of key items. You sent me some links this morning. I didn't even look at them. I'll add them in here afterwards. And I think let's start off with what we didn't get to yesterday. Yeah, what's going on with the food? I know a little bit,
If you
but
go to I think I sent you that report, Biodigital Today and Tomorrow. I did that yesterday, I believe.
Biodigital today and tomorrow. Yes.
Yeah, if you go into the first paragraph of that article, they'll bring up uh, the mRNA jabs being part of a biosurveillance system. Um, Now, using our smartphone with the mRNA jabs, from my understanding of all this, like I say, their information is so vague that you have to look into it a bit further.
Hmm.
Um, from my understanding of this, is that they're doing this monitoring through what they call immunosensors or biosensors. These biosensors are now not only in the mRNA, it's done through this 3D printed magnetic liquids and a luciferase um, sensor. These are chemiluminescent, like bioluminescent sensors that can actually be monitored from our phone camera.
Hmm.
Uh, that stuff's in our food supply now. If you go down that article, they'll start talking about food. They'll bring up Nestle. They'll bring up smart farming. They'll bring up uh, uh, 3D printed supplements. They'll bring up a ton of stuff. They don't tell you all the play. They bring up KFC. They bring up a
Yuck.
ton of places that were doing it back in 2020. From what
Oh.
I'm looking at, it's in all the Nestle products. It's in a lot of our vegetables now, especially lettuce, spinach. It's in our meat. They get into that too at Horizons. Uh, Seems to be in a lot of stuff, and it's more of a monitoring tool at this point. I think I sent you that digital immune system.
Sorry, I just quickly like this is I think this is kind of really sick. Like it's
It's
so
very, very thick.
sick. I haven't this hasn't been my priority. I've busy.
If you go to that, I
I'm
don't know if
busy
you
in
see the
local corruption.
Nestle thing. Do you see the thing with Nestle?
I can't. I just got what they're monitoring. Where is it again? I lost it. They're monitoring. Here it is. A restaurant in Tokyo is using analysis of customers' saliva, urine,
Yeah.
and feces to evaluate their nutritional requirements and 3D print biome-based bespoke sushi.
This is in the production of most of the products out there now.
Did
And
you
like,
have you ever seen the
I,
movie The Island? James, did you ever see
I,
that movie The Island? I don't know when it came out, like,
I
20
have
years ago.
many years ago,
I mean,
but
this
yeah.
is this is what that is really what that was. This
Well,
is
they're
so gross.
monitoring us with this stuff. They if you go, like, there's a thing there from Nestle. If you hit that link, it actually goes into a thing called the living matrix, and you can see these so-called Nestle scientists looking at our bodies from a screen. Um,
Oh, this
Now,
is I knew it was bad, but I didn't know it was this bad. And this is on the Horizons Government Canada website. So this is
this is
not any
all government
conspiracy
information.
theory labeled garbage. This is what they're doing.
This is what they're doing, and they get into the plans with that, into our health, and they get into that document you're looking at is very long. It's the longest document that I've read. Uh,
I better print it before they delete this thing.
I don't think they will. I don't think they care. I think that they have this out there to say that they warn people and ask for public opinion. They keep saying, uh, they keep bringing up, like, upon society's acceptance, probably 3 or 4 times in
Wow.
that document. But society has no idea it's happening. Um, the ones that, yeah, it's mind-boggling. But
I was gonna try to print it right now, but I'll do it later. It is. It's wow. I mean, wow.
in the health area, it starts talking about making a super class of humans. Um, it starts talking about
Oh
Neuralinking,
my
everyone
gosh.
with this same science. Okay. In the security area, it brings up the Internet of Bodies and things,
Mm-hmm.
and the smart cities. And from my understanding of the people in the smart cities, um, are going to be the first ones hooked up to this Internet of Bodies. Um,
Wow.
I don't know what to say about any of that anymore. I used to think running off to the country would help. I think it would help a bit, but it seems like, I know Cape Breton, they have uh, the whole island of Cape Breton marked as a smart city. So
Yeah, well,
I
and
don't
I'm
know.
in Newfoundland thinking I was getting way far away from Ottawa on an
They have
island.
Newfoundland marked as that too. Yeah.
I know. It's just,
Yeah, they have
ah!
all Newfoundland marked as that too. I was
Well,
planning to go to Stephenville, and I still am when I close this shop. But yeah,
well, I think at this point, all I can do is just try to last as long as I can,
that's all we can do.
and I expect to be imprisoned for one reason or another, as either as a
I'm not worried
whistleblower
about
or
it all. I'd
someone.
rather die on my feet than in prison or a re-education camp. I'll go down fighting.
Yeah, well, I figure I don't know what I figure I'm supposed to end up locked up with some people who are going to be afraid, and I'll go, don't worry about it. It's it's what's going on, and everything's fine.
I personally, I want to get this in front of a courtroom. Okay, like, I really, really want to get this in front of a courtroom.
James,
I've been fined.
we don't have
I've had,
any legitimate court systems in Canada.
I've
None.
had
Zero.
well, I've had fines. I've seen family courts that have brought this up. There, the judge decided not to jab the kid to the family member who brought this information up. I've had fines, COVID fines, and as soon as I fight the fine, when you hear in Ottawa, when you get one of these COVID fines, they give you, if you're fighting it, they give you a sheet saying, how do you want to fight this? I put policy horizons, biodigital convergence is against the law, da 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 da. Both fines have
You
been
scared
thrown
them.
out. Both
Yeah.
fines have been thrown out.
Well, okay. So
Out
you
the
just
door.
have Well,
I
then
want to get this
maybe.
in front of a court. I think the lawyers are definitely part of the scheme. And the two parents that I knew that brought this information up in court, both of their lawyers walked as soon as they wanted to bring up Horizons. They defended themselves and they won.
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, the judge decided not to jab the kid, that it was the best choice that the kid figures out this on their own in the
do you
future.
do you know which judge it was?
I don't, but I can find that information out.
That'd be
I have
great.
the
I mean,
documents actually of the court decision somewhere.
I'm
I
sure
go
there's a
through
couple of
hundreds
decent
of.
judges. I'm sure there's a couple of decent judges just because they have to keep the appearances up. So there's got to be a couple, but because of the system they use to schedule hearings, I don't think I've met any of them. So that's the problem. Anyway, so this is great. Thanks for pointing this out. I'm glad that we didn't delay it any further. It's great that I'll be able to post this today.
Well, what
And
people have to know too is this new economy is coming in with this.
right, and that was the next
Okay.
hang on, let's go back to where we were with you. That's the next question we want to get to. I know you're really short on time because you're heading, I guess, down, or you're just getting ready for your meeting. So yeah, your view on Bank of Canada plans for CBDCs, central base domestic currencies, and the next
Yes,
digital economy.
yes.
Enlighten
The
us
next
on that.
Horizons are in talk with the Bank of Canada. They're I watched Horizons in a YouTube video back. It was either November or December 2022. Um, they were talking about bringing in new restrictions, and the Bank of Canada, actually the conversation was more centered towards people not trusting the AI, is how they worded it, and the final outcome of that discussion was they had to bring in new restrictions from the Bank of Canada. Now, immediately after that, the Bank of Canada published an article saying they were bringing in a CBDC for 2023. I've seen a
For
lot of new
2023, they're bringing.
2023 this year,
So you think they're
and
going to roll it out this year?
they're asking people in a survey right now that they put out on Monday or last Monday, regarding how Canadians would feel about a central bank digital currency. Countries are doing this all over the world in lockstep.
Yeah.
Federal Reserve is doing it. I'm watching it happen with TD Bank right now in live time. People don't even understand it's happening. Um, I would say that once that you have until the 19th, June 19th, to fill out the survey from the Bank of Canada. My guess is that it will come before October after that. Like it will come between
Wow.
June and October.
Yeah.
That's my best guess. I do see other countries following in lockstep at exactly same times.
Well, they'd probably wait until tourist season was over, right? Let everybody have one last kick at the cat at tourist season and then flip the switch.
Yeah. And once that comes in, I think that I've seen other countries where this has come in right now, within the last few months. There's several countries in Africa it's happening to right now. Um, they're uh, Unfortunately, with the media, you don't know what's really true anymore, but it seems Kenya is fighting this better than most countries. I think that, like, this information about this currency is going to wake up a lot of the sleeping people. Um, if it certainly wakes up the people that I have conversations with. Like I say, I like starting with this new economy stuff and conversations. Once this CBDC rolls out, if people, uh, everything is going to depend on our reaction there. We certainly haven't been very good at uh, uh, how to word it. Um, we certainly haven't been very good at focusing on where changes can be made. If when this CBDC rolls out, people are probably going to be very upset, and a lot of sleeping people will probably wake up. If at that point, if people manage to organize something against this Horizons group, They are the ones controlling all this. It's that next digital economy that's coming in. If that comes in, and we do nothing to fight this, I'd say we're doomed. Um, the the hopeful thing is that here in Canada, there are some people that know where to focus the attention here. If we focus that attention on policy horizons, I don't think things will ever get back to normal, but we might be able to slow this down or stop this CBDC, or at least grow larger in numbers. And I know there's people that want to build like a different society and stuff. Uh, that will be our opportunity right there. Um,
Yeah, now
Nobody
you
wants this CBDC. If it comes in, that social credit score is going to come in right behind it. I'm seeing this also as a business. The government of Canada is currently paying businesses 15 grand for a digital adoption program that also involves the CBDC. Most businesses took that money. Um, Most businesses took that money. I didn't. That the businesses that took that money, although some of them might not even know it, they're you have a footprint with them. Uh, they're once the CBDC comes out, everybody's going to get like a carbon allowance. Uh, it will start from the businesses. Let's say I'll use myself as an example. If I accepted that money, eventually I'd have to put, let's say I was given 10,000 points a month for my carbon footprint or allowance due to how this book is affecting the environment. Used book, by the way. Let's say I put 10 points on this book. Once that CBDC comes in, and I'm just using these numbers as an example. Let's say you get 2,000 points monthly allowance based on your social status. If you wanted this book, 10 points would come off your 2,000 points and my 10,000 points. That's already planned, like not only planned, that's already like most businesses took a grant that involves this. I told this to businesses a year ago that accepted the money. One recently called me and said, hey, you were right. I looked into that a bit further and eventually I'm going to have to do that. You were right. So it's coming in.
actually, James, and I'm just gonna make a note here. The social credit system is already here. It's just no one knows about it. It's very covert, and people are swim lanes based on a whole bunch of factors. And it's managed, I believe it's managed at the provincial level. In the chief information
it's definitely
officer.
for a lot of things online. Uber, it runs by a social credit system. All those driving apps and stuff.
But even more so. I mean,
I know how, but it doesn't involve you having a
jobs,
carbon
like
allowance.
but like
It doesn't
being
involve the stuff
hired
that
and
they have planned
promoted.
out right now.
Yeah, it's going to get worse for sure. But all I'm trying to say is I think the systems are already in place.
Yeah,
They're
I'm telling you
already in
that they
place.
are in place right now. They're just ready to pull the switch.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
The businesses that weren't part of it were paid $15,000 in the last year to accept this program. It's already in place.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are the only businesses that will exist. The small businesses won't exist long. They're only in it for the the very short haul. Okay, like any of those businesses that took the money that don't have apps and da 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 da. Okay, it's only going to go to the stakeholders in the end, and that's Amazon, that's Starbucks, that's Walmart, that's Google. If you're not a stakeholder in this, you get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get left behind, at least from the
Okay.
business aspect. It's already
So
in place. So yeah,
yeah,
you're
I
right. It's
agree.
already
It's
in
already in
place.
place. It's systematized. It's run at the provincial level. I have evidence of that. I gained evidence of that in while being in Newfoundland. So you don't have a lot of time left. We got like 10 minutes. What would you like to discuss now? We can go back to look at a few more. You wanted to review more policy horizon reports, if
Well,
we could.
yeah. Also, that um, Yeah, those Policy Horizons reports. I think I brought up the CRISPR article
Hmm.
from CRISPR to Prime Editor. Um, Anybody who's like that article at the beginning, it says that scientists warned the Canadian government of dangerous mutations. And then it also goes on in the third paragraph to discuss that people are now modifying viruses to specifications of the government. Uh, in their articles, you'll see precision medicine and targeted medicine and stuff like this. Everybody, in my opinion, only from reading that article, but well, and all their articles, this precision medicine, if people are dying suddenly, if people are sick, whether they took the shots or not, they go on in that article about it being in the foods, about it being in bacteria, about it being in plants, animals, da 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 da. Um, People are sick. It's because of this science. It's a precision and targeted medicine.
An expanded
Uh,
toolbox for gene editing.
yeah.
It's so sick. I don't know who in their right mind would think this is a good idea.
The government would, because they have total and complete control over your body and mind. CRISPR is involved, like CRISPR. Uh, I don't know. You probably heard of optogenetics. Um, they're you like yeah. It's complete and total control over everything you do.
To me, it's just mad scientists.
It is
I know
definitely
I know it's government, but it's
scientists.
just
It's
crazy
definitely
mad
mad
scientist stuff.
scientists. But if they can get everybody on a social credit system, on a new economy, and da 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 da,
Yeah.
all these CRISPR technology, like it is a digital device. Supposedly they produce medicinal compounds. I do believe everything that they're putting out there. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
I
why they would put this information out if it wasn't true.
there's
But as you say, they say it's a monitoring tool, a biosurveillance system. If people are dying, they know why people are dying. There's no
yeah, well, sure.
sudden
Well,
adult death syndrome and da da. They know exactly. They're
I
monitoring
know
you that
they know.
closely right now,
I came across
whether
all
you took the shots or didn't take the shot.
well, like I said, it's not just the shots, or like you said, like we all know, or not all of us, but some of us know it's not just the injections. It's
Yeah, I'd say
everywhere.
the injections are like the worst part of it. Don't get me wrong, and you can always watch what you eat somewhat, but they're definitely monitoring all of us.
Okay, so that's pretty gross for people to absorb. Anything you'd like to say in closing, James? And again, we can do a part two, and I'd love to hear how things go today, what
Yeah,
whether you get arrested or just last to leave or shut out, or that you maybe get
well,
some positive feedback.
it's only an online thing, so like it's. I hope they come and arrest me for asking them a question, but I doubt they will. I imagine they'll just remove me. I like literally pass out pamphlets to everyone. They haven't come and arrest me yet. Uh,
Just get kicked out of the room.
I would like to say that I know people on both sides are like living in, not everyone, but the majority are living in somewhat fear, and they don't know who's responsible for all this. These people are that are controlling this situation. They're afraid of us too. They're definitely afraid, like they only know how to push this propaganda and fear through the device, through digital devices, whether it's your phone, whether it's a TV screen. uh, they only know how to do it through that. They're if people could get away from that fear and start getting back into human conversations and focusing on this policy arm, I think it would drastically slow down, just like they keep saying, upon society's acceptance. Nobody in society wants this. Nobody. Whether they're up to date with their shots or haven't taken any. when I show them this information, nobody wants a social credit system. Nobody wants to have the government have the kind of control where they're redefining humanity. People are questioning these documents. If we could get some focus there and get back
Yeah, for
having
sure.
human
I mean,
conversations and stuff,
feet on the
this
street.
would all drastically slow down.
Yeah, it's tricky because they're closing the avenues for us to do that.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And even Twitter, we've talked, Twitter Spaces is now full of people who want to direct the conversation in other ways. So you get kicked out of Twitter Spaces, you get trolled online, get discredited. It's just, so yeah, feet on the street. That's where I plan to head.
That's where the feet have to be, in your community and on the street. If we were
Yeah.
talking about this in our 15-minute neighborhoods now, instead of not being able to talk about it in our 15-minute neighborhoods in the future.
Yeah,
like I don't
absolutely.
think people understand, like, this also involves, like, if we let this new economy in, this also involves, like, they get into metaverse and the internet of bodies, and people aren't going to be living in the real natural world anymore.
Oh yeah, and then again, so what I'm working on today, it ties right into that. I'm documenting. I've got a ridiculous hearing on the 18th where it's just an old small claims they're trying to close and get me to sign a release order that I won't sign because it means I can't ever say anything about this company again. And it's Recovery Science Corporation. Their technology for GPS monitoring and alcohol monitoring is terrifying, and it's where incarceration is headed. I know this because I was forced to wear an ankle bracelet to get out of jail, bogus charges and stuff. So I can see where this is headed, and so first of all, they're
I would say we'll
creating.
get to a point where you won't even see a judge if you get in trouble. It'll
Oh,
all be done by the AI too.
Oh, for sure. And I tweeted about that a couple days ago. That's exactly where it's headed. And it already, having been arrested multiple times, a lot of it's video court. So your first hearing is looking at a face on a screen. And there's a company called Spellbook dot I can't remember, Spellbook got something. So they're bringing it in under contract law to say, hey, lawyers, you don't even have to write a contract anymore. We'll do it for you. But I can see what else is happening with legislation and judicial decisions. They're already circumventing legislation, right? So in Ottawa, in civil matters, they basically produce notices to the profession, which circumvents the rules of civil procedure contained in the Courts of Justice Act. So they're circumventing legislation by producing their own rules, which basically favor the perpetrators by limiting the amount of evidence you can produce. That's just a summary. That's the civil side. In family court, they're circumventing the Divorce Act by using the family law rules, also contained in the Courts of Justice Act, which basically ignore all the protections that the Divorce Act provides. And it was recently amended, I think March 2020. And so, again, I know this because I'm trying to get a divorce through the courts since 2015. So, and then on the criminal side, they can create law on the fly. Like, so for example, it's illegal for me to send my son a birthday cake. And I made a big deal out of that because it's so ridiculous. And so they can basically arrest you for any reason, just an allegation. And then to let you out of jail, you have to agree to a release order, and they can have any condition that they want. I mean, if you love eating popcorn every night, they'll go, James, you can leave, you get out of jail, but you're not allowed to eat popcorn.
Yeah.
So the next time, if someone ever sees you eating popcorn, you can be arrested and then charged with a breach under Section 127 of the Criminal Code of Canada. Well, you breached your bail conditions. So then you got, and they just
won't even
keep
be like
the whole system.
In
It's
the near
insane.
future, that system I doubt will exist, and we'll reach a new system called communitarianism if we let this go through, and it will be your community that decides whether or not you stay there.
Oh, and we're already headed there with Twitter, with all the, what cracks me up is you go in Twitter space and you get a thumbs up and thumbs down. So people are talking, and you've already got this whole Roman Colosseum mind think going on. where
it's all Bruised, I
it's,
think.
it's crazy. Anyway, listen, it's we can probably talk. We should just talk, offline soon.
I have to prepare myself for this meeting.
Yeah, it's 9:30 your time.
It's 9:30 my time now.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
So let's
But
connect
yeah,
later, just offline. I'd love to find out how your day goes.
yeah, for sure. You too. I appreciate this. Thank you very much.
Oh, I appreciate you. Thanks for all your hard work, James. Hopefully it
Uh,
helps
you
someone.
too. You're
Okay.
amazing.
God
Thank you.
bless you. Bye.
You too. God bless.